Imagine waking up every day, knowing something terrible is going to happen, but not knowing when or how. What if you couldn't escape your own future, no matter how hard you tried? I am Laura, and this is my story, a story where time itself became my worst enemy. I've always been a creature of habit. Every Monday at 7 a.m., I wake up, brew my coffee, and sit by the window. But this Monday, as I took my first sip, I felt like a cold finger traced my neck. I glanced at the clock, 7:03. Then I saw it. A flash of something dark and disturbing, like a scene from a nightmare. I was standing by a grave with tears running down my face, with a deep, unsettling sense that something was terribly wrong. I shook it off, trying to convince myself it was just a weird thought. But the day felt off, like the air was thicker, and it was hard to breathe. As the day went by, the flashes intensified. I saw Jason, my husband, calling my name. It felt as if he was scared. There was shattered glass, blood, and that grave again, now accompanied by the sound of dirt being shoveled. When Jacob called to say he'd be home late, my heart sank. His voice was flat, almost like a recording. I tried to dismiss the fear, telling myself it was just stress. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that grave. I woke up in a cold sweat, and when I saw the clock reading 3:15 a.m., I felt like I was losing my mind. The next day was worse. The visions came more frequently, each more vivid and terrifying. I saw myself in a car, speeding down a dark road. The headlights were blinding me before everything went black. I tried to warn Jacob, but he just laughed it off, saying I needed a break. Next day, while driving to work, I saw it, the same car from my vision, veering into my lane. I managed to move just in time, narrowly avoiding a crash. My hands shook as I pulled over, struggling to catch my breath. Felt like I was trapped in a nightmare I couldn't escape. Thursday was when it all came together. I woke up with the same chill in the air, the same sense of dread. I spent the day on edge, waiting for the inevitable. And it came. At 7 p.m., Jacob called and told me that he was stuck in traffic. But as I hung up, a vision hit me. Clear and real. I was in our living room, watching the clock tick to 8. Then a knock on the door. I opened it to find Jacob drenched in rain. His eyes were hollow. "It's time," he said, his voice echoing in my head. I snapped back to reality. I knew I couldn't stay. Grabbing my keys, I drove off, not knowing where to go. But as I sped down the dark, empty streets, I realized the road was too familiar. It was the road from my vision. Panic set in. I tried to turn back, but the car wouldn't stop. Headlights blinded me, and then I saw it. Figure in the middle of the road, staring right at me. I slammed on the brakes, stopping inches from the figure. My breath caught as I realized who it was. It was me. I stared into my own eyes, empty, lifeless, like a reflection in a broken mirror. And then everything went black. When I woke up, I was in my bed, the morning sun streaming through the window. Clock read 7 a.m. Monday. The air was thick, oppressive. My heart raced as I realized it was happening again. I was trapped in a loop. No matter what I did, how hard I tried to change it, I was doomed to repeat the same week over and over, the horror building each time. Until what? I don't know how this ends, but I'm running out of time. They say you can't outrun fate, but what if you're stuck in an endless loop, reliving your worst nightmare? If you found this story as chilling as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, because you never know who might be living a nightmare of their own.